The Padres add their fifth shortstop. It wasn't Trey Turner, but we did get Xander Bogaerts for $280 million over 11 years. Jack and I are going to talk about it today on Padres Talking Padres. Oh my gosh. Jack, I gotta be honest. I fell asleep as normal people do, I guess, and woke up to this news of Xander Bogaerts.
Well, I was up till like 11:30 last night.
Uh-huh.
I checked. Twitter's my go-to news thing because I have a couple Twitter accounts.
Sure.
But one, I follow a lot of Padre fans.
Mm-hmm.
So I get Padre information right away.
Sure.
And I checked it before I went to bed. I go, nothing happening. So today I couldn't sleep. I woke up at 5, which is 5 on the East Coast. And I went, check. I go, wait, what? What? This can't be true. And it was true. Bogaerts is a Padre.
Bogaerts is a Padre, and that's a good thing. Like I don't know. The commentary this morning, I find interesting just because it's or at least just among Padre fans, or I'm in a Padres Discord and stuff like that. They're very, I want to say pessimistic or something. It's like, how can we afford this? We're hampering ourselves or whatever. He's at $25 million a year. That's $5 million more than we're paying Will Myers. I feel like this is an upgrade here.
If you put it in perspective, that's a good point.
I guess the tough part is it's 11 years, so eventually it's not gonna play out well. But I mean, at the end of the day, you're trying to win now,
right?
And this is a win now move.
You're trying to become America's team. I mean, I keep saying this, but seriously, you keep laughing about that, and other people look at me like you're an idiot, which I am. I'm not going to deny that. But the Padres, people don't hate the Padres.
Mm-hmm.
Not yet.
Sure.
If the Padres, it's almost like the Patriots. Like when the Patriots first started winning, people are like, oh yeah, the Patriots. They've been losers their whole lives. For the most part, they were terrible.
Mm-hmm.
They started winning, and it's like, okay, you want to see the Patriots win, Then their fans became so obnoxious, you start hating the Patriots.
Yeah, to me, that's where I always kind of like discount the American teams. Like, you can be one of the really popular teams in the league, right? Like, because the thing is, it takes generations to build that up. Like, look at the Cubs. Like, they can suck, but there's Cubs fans everywhere. There's Red Sox fans everywhere. There's Yankee fans everywhere. Like, I don't think there's necessarily like one team to rule them all, kind of thing. But I think this definitely gets you in the conversation as a team that you really want to see.
Well, when you're trying to, it's not only ticket sales and TV revenue and radio revenue, it's merchandise.
Yeah.
Merch is probably, I don't have the stat in front of me, but I know it's a lot more. They make a lot more on it now than they did when I was a kid.
Oh, sure.
You didn't have how many different Padre hats do I have or you have and people have? I mean, then they're like $35 a pop for a hat that costs a couple bucks to make. So.
Well, I think the thing too is, you look at Todd. Well, I think was he number 4? But out of the top 10 in jersey sales last year, Tatis I think was like number 4 or something like that. It didn't play a game last year.
No.
And so you're 100% right. Like there's money being made, and there's money being spent, and
right.
I think Sealer's value or his fortune's at $3 billion, and he's committed nearly $1 billion of that to a few players here.
But I'm sure he's making money.
Oh, exactly. And the thing is, I feel like baseball fans have been programmed by owners to think that it's a poverty franchise or whatever, but these things make money, and the Padres selling out games, that stadium is packed. The money that's being made there is incredible. And
I'm getting some feedback.
Sure, I'll pull back and out real quick, but Let me ask this question, Jack, and then you go and answer. I don't know, just is this a good thing for the Padres?
It's a great thing for the Padres. Like you said, the Padres, the 44,000 fans there, it's going to be a sellout every night because of the excitement. And it's like, oh my God, it's hopefully they win. They don't have to win it all. Be nice, but they have to be exciting and score a lot of runs and be competitive in every game, beat the Dodgers and that whole thing. So if you got 44,000 people there, I don't even know what the average ticket price is for a Padre game. Let's say it's $50, $75 per person. A beer is $20, $15, $20. Mm-hmm. You're spending it costs a lot of money to go to a game.
Sure, absolutely. When we were there in July, went out to the Park in the Park or Gallagher Square. And for the three of us, so me and my two sons, were they 8 and 4, it was $85 just to go out on the lawn.
Yeah, which is insane.
Right. And so, the money is being made there. And I think there's this sense of, like, when I was listening to the MLB radio this morning, there was a couple calls like, how are they affording this? One guy called and was just like, did Warren Buffett buy this team?
Yeah, I heard that guy. Yeah.
Okay. So you heard that call, but then the talking head afterwards is like, oh, well, I think that he's just going to sell the team next year, just saddle whoever's next. I was like, I just feel like such a pessimistic view, and it honestly drives me nuts.
Well, to be fair, the Padres have a history of bad owners.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't had an owner spend this kind of money since Ray Kroc.
Yeah.
I mean, John Morse put money into the team up to a point, up until he got the stadium.
Yeah.
And then he cheated on his wife and the whole thing. But he made a killing off the deal, and it's actually screwed the Padres over. But it just, you have an owner who's putting money into the team. He's making money. He bought property next to the stadium.
Yeah.
To make more money.
You're gonna make money on the Holiday Bowl. I mean,
Holiday Bowl. They make money year round on that stadium. 70% of anything they make on that stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not worried about the money.
Yeah.
I mean, it is weird that a San Diego team is spending this type of money.
Mm-hmm.
But again, 44,000 fans a game,
mm-hmm.
spending an average of $100.
Yeah.
Okay, per game.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not doing the math in my head. It's like what, $44 million? No,
that'd be, well, here. Yeah, I'll do the math for you real quick. Was it 44,500?
Yeah.
Times
average of 100.
That's $4.5 million a game.
$4.5 million a game. So I was saying $44 million. I was a little off, but. And again, that's if people are spending $100. So that's your radio, your TV. You can ask more. If your team is winning, you can ask more. Now, if you become where people now remember the merchandise sales
mm-hmm.
are probably even higher. Now, if you become a popular team nationwide, which you're seeing, we were out last night in Durham, North Carolina. How many Padre fans did we run into?
3.
3 Padre fans that I saw. At this small bar in Durham. 3 Padre fans. And I'm going, well, that's weird,
right?
It's like,
holy crap! There's another one.
Yeah, and I went to I go to Wegmans a lot, and I always see Padre fans there. And you're going, okay. And sometimes you ask them, "Hey, you from San Diego?" No, just like the team. Going, okay, that's weird. Because it's the Padres. It's not like you said the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, the Cubs, teams that have won and had a long tradition of winning, or Cubs,
Dodgers are sitting out of it this year, which is kind of weird.
Which is nice.
I talked about the article with you last night about Ken Rosenthal saying they're worried about the possible implications of what's his name coming back, Trey
Bauer.
And that could hurt them financially. Like, you're the Dodgers. Talk about the Padres filling that thing up. They fill up Dodger Stadium every game, and I don't know why, because traffic in and out of there is awful. Like, it's a terrible stadium to get.
Oh, not to mention that they have a huge their television contract is ridiculous compared to the Padres. I mean, they have the rich. I think it's even worth more than the Yankees.
More than yes,
I believe so.
Wow.
It's some ridiculous contract that they make.
So that's what I'm saying. So it just this idea that these teams are like cash strapped or cash starved is kind of stupid. When they're mostly billionaires that own and run these teams. Okay, so I agree. I think this is a great deal. I think the thing is, in my mind, is like, okay, well, where do we go from here? You know, like, what's the longer term thing? But just focus on this year, and then we'll go from there. But speaking of this upcoming season, and a lot of people are saying this, Tatis is officially outfield. Like, there's no room in the infield.
Well, I was just surfing Twitter beforehand, and I was even listening to the MLB Network. Then I switched to Shine on Sports, and he was talking about the Bogaerts deal, and he said he's upset. He feels bad for Red Sox fans because he says the Red Sox ownership treated him like a commodity and not a person.
Yep.
And he wanted to stay with the Red Sox his whole career, and he's been just an amazing player for him. Mm-hmm. And they could have signed him for a lot less. It's almost like the Yankees and Judge. If they weren't playing Judge, they probably could have got Judge. If it went to like to $250 million last season, they could have got him for $250 million instead of paying $360 million, $110 million more.
Yep.
But you know, he was saying that, and he was saying it was a good move for the Padres. Now with Tatis, now remember he's not coming back. He's suspended. He has 23-game suspension, right?
Yep. April 20th.
Now we don't know if he's 100%. We don't know where he's at. I don't know if he's swinging a bat in the off season. Is he working? I don't know. We don't, because you don't hear any word on it.
Sure.
I think Tatis is going to play a lot of DH.
Yeah.
I think they're going to bring him along slowly. They're going to try and spread it out over the whole season. Mm-hmm. Again, we've talked about this before. He's had trouble staying healthy, even before the motorcycle accidents.
Sure.
On the field, so they're going to do everything in their power to keep him healthy. Now, a lot of people say, "Oh, they're going to trade him. They're going to trade him." Yeah. I'm not saying they won't, but I think it would be, at this point, it would be a huge mistake to trade Fernando Tatis because he comes back and he's the player he was before.
Yeah.
Nobody in San Diego is going to care that he got suspended for PEDs. Plus, I keep pointing out, he was never caught when he was playing.
Yeah.
It was when he wasn't playing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it wasn't a good steroid anyway to actually. It was an old fashioned steroid. The whole story was kind of weird. So we'll see how that plays out. But there's a great article. I think it was Jeff Saunders in the Union Tribune with Nelly Cruz, who also got a PED hit back with the biogenesis scandal, I believe.
Okay.
And he was just talking about how you just got to put your head down, you got to hustle, and you got to basically earn back the trust of all these people. Right. And that's his advice to Tatis. And I think that's just what it is. And I think it'll be fine. I think trading him is a stupid idea because it's generational talent, and steroids, for better or worse, doesn't necessarily make you a better player. Just maybe on the edges, even if he was using the whole time. So we'll see how that all plays out. But no, I agree that people keep discounting that. Tatis doesn't come back to April 20th. He will be DHing probably at the start of it. Get his sea legs under him. At least he gets to play in spring training, so he does get that time to get into
playing shape. Yeah.
And I think it's good. And the other thing too is with the shift gone, having the 4 shortstop infield is a good. Right? That's what Bo Mel used to call it when he would take Hosmer out. You move Crone to first. Was it Kim to second, or was it CJ Abrams to second? Kim.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And that just defensively, you're going to need to cover a lot more ground without the shift. So to me, I still like it having that many shortstops on the field. And then in terms of holes in the lineup, you still got, I guess, first base DH, because Tatis isn't playing till the 20th. You still need another outfielder in this scenario.
Well, I was looking at the team, and right now we have starters, but now you got to fill the bench.
Yep. You need depth.
And people are like, oh, we should trade Kim. We should trade Colonel. I go, but you still need depth. I mean, where would the Padres have been last season if they didn't have Kim?
Yep.
To go in there and play Gold Glove caliber shortstop
and
hit pretty decent and get on base and all the other stuff. If they didn't have Kim, they would have been hurting because Fernando was gone the whole season.
Yep.
So you have to have depth. And at this point, I still think it's a waste to put Cronenworth at first base, but he'd be the best defensive first baseman they've had probably since Wally Joyner.
Yeah. And he's got pop to his bag. It's maybe not the profile you want, but it's the defense you want. And if you think of Kim, Crone on, the right side, and then Bogaerts, Machado on the left side, like, is there a better in defensive infield in the game? When you've got the Dodgers throwing out Gavin Lux to shortstop when they say he can't even throw from second to first.
Yeah.
And they're talking about bringing back Turner, maybe, as Justin Turner as their third baseman. And then you've got Muncy at second, right? Or
if they signed Judge, they were going to put Mookie Betts at second.
But they didn't.
Which to me is a waste because Mookie Betts has a cannon for an arm. You don't run on Mookie Betts.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal right fielder.
I mean, Gold Glove and all that other stuff. I mean, that to me, I was like going, yeah, sure, put Mookie at second base.
Right.
I'm okay with that.
And this move almost, I don't know, like we're gaining one while the Dodgers lost Trey Turner.
Yeah.
Their 1, 2, 3's gone. They've got Freeman and Mookie. And
they won't sign Correa because the fans would be upset.
Which I understand because Dodger fans are the worst.
But I think if he came in there and was successful, and I think you forget things.
Yeah.
You go, all right, yeah, he was part of that cheating scandal that cost us a World Series. Well, did it? It may or may not have. But
it kind of did, but yeah.
But still, I'd be like, okay, I gotta win. That happened 6 years ago. I want to win now. Whatever it is. It's just like I would have gotten over. I would get over it.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's like Manny. It didn't matter what he did in the past. It's what does he do?
Yeah.
What has he done as a Padre? That's all I care about.
I think even more so than Machado, Carrera is just an interesting player because he's an amazing player, but it's fascinating. This is 2 off seasons now where he got that 3-year deal, but he was going to opt out anyway after 1 year. Right. It's just something about him is kind of damaged.
I
even
think
more than Danny in a way.
I think because none of the players got punished. None of them got suspended, which was beyond me. And so I think that could be part of the problem. But, they have Uris as a pitcher. He was, arrested for domestic abuse, never stood trial for it. But they're okay. They're okay with the beaters, but not the cheaters. Trevor Bauer, if he comes back, I'm sure there'll be, if they're going to pay him, I'm assuming they're going to play him.
Sure.
But are the Dodger fans going to cheer him on?
But that's where it is kind of. I agree. It is kind of silly to not want to do Correa, but it doesn't matter because it's not our problem.
No, it's not our problem.
Have a good one.
Us.
To me, at least, and again, Padres have won off seasons a few times now. Won the off season. This past season was the first time or in 2020 to an extent, but it's a shortened season and it doesn't count the same as a full season, or doesn't maybe have the same weight as a full season. So I was telling Zachary this morning because he was really excited. He's like, oh yeah, and he was just this prospect of maybe signing Judge was like he was really pumped about it. And I was like, all right, yes, but you still have to win the games. You still have to win the games. You still got to play the season.
The old analogy that baseball is not played on paper.
Yes,
nothing's played on paper, but.
And this winter meetings definitely has kind of pushed back against the algorithmic computer number crunching that has kind of dominated baseball. And I don't know if it is because of the shift being pulled. Like a lot of these kind of very baseball math, things are being pulled back. And just kind of going to some good old fashioned, are they a great player? Yes, then we want them,
Yeah. Well, Bogaerts, he's just a solid player. I mean, he's a guy you want on your he's like Cronenworth. He's a guy you want on your team. He does everything really well. He's good defensively. I mean, like you said, you look at the Padres.
He's a hitter.
He's a hitter. He gets on base. He's a winner. He's won 2 World Series. So, but if you look at like I said, the defense, there's no better defensive infield.
No.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just it's potentially 4 Gold Gloves.
Yeah, exactly.
At every position. And then your outfield, if you still keep Trent Grisham, he's a Gold Glover. Juan Soto was nominated for a Gold Glove. Again, I didn't see it, but he does have a strong arm, and maybe he's getting used to the ballpark.
Yeah, I put him in left though. Do you put him back to his original position left?
I put him in left because also you got to remember the Nationals ballpark is just there's no
the walls, funky dimensions really. Yeah,
there's no Petco has some funky dimensions. So and it's a new ballpark and all that different stuff. But now I would play him in left, Grisham in center, and then Tatis in right. Yeah, nobody's going to run on Tatis. It'd be like Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
So that's a great defensive team, also a very good offensive team. Your only weakness is catcher. So here's my question.
Go ahead.
Here's my question. Do you trade for Sean Murphy?
Nah.
You got Merrill. I mean, we already have 5 shortstops. We don't need another one.
Yeah, but he's still low. I mean, he could be here in a couple of years, and we'll need another shortstop, I assume.
All right. So you can stay with Nola?
No, I say, I believe it was was it yesterday, the day before? Yeah, here we go. It's Campusano's time. He played, well. Like but when the games that he caught for Joe Musgrove, his ERA was 1.94. He hit over 300, got a home run. He's killing it in the minor leagues. You got to have some people that you're not paying.
He's also $30 million he's also a better framer than Nola.
Yeah. So
I'm all in. I don't cut Nola. Again, you need depth. Nola can play. He can play short. He can play the outfield. He can play first. He can play second base. So he's a and you need a backup catcher.
Yep.
So I would go with Campy and then
So to me that's and he could be a plus hitter and solid catcher. Like that's
also again going to this lineup. There's no pressure on him.
Exactly.
He doesn't. I mean, you want him to hit,
sure,
but there's not this thing where you bring the rookie up. It's like when they brought Anthony Rizzo up.
Yeah,
a lot of people forget Padres had Anthony Rizzo. Terrible trade for Cashner, but anyway, they brought him up. They needed a hit. They needed something, and he struggled. And people right away, he's a flash in the pan. We traded Gonzalez away for this guy. Yeah. What a horrible trade. So then we ended up trading Rizzo to Chicago, and Rizzo became a star because we weren't patient enough to wait for him, and the fans were all upset because they expected him. It was a big deal when he got called up, and he didn't succeed. I think it's harder to succeed when you don't have the players around you.
Yeah,
and people expect you to be. I mean, sometimes people come through. Sometimes players they just have that kind. But Mickey Mantle came up. He got sent down again. So I'm not saying Campy's going to be Mickey Mantle, but I'm saying give the kid a shot. Yeah,
to me, that's where Sean Murphy. Like, sure, it'd be nice, but we have a controllable young catcher that specs to be really solid. So I don't go there. I think maybe you bring in Drury because he's kind of a super utility guy.
What about Myers?
Sure, on a super discounted deal, absolutely.
Because right now you have, I forgot who's the outfielder we signed.
I don't even know.
I can't remember his name.
All?
Yeah, Dahl. Yeah. Okay, but he'll probably, because there's not a lot of players, and we don't have a lot of players in the minors.
No.
So we're gonna need some depth, and I think you get Myers pretty cheap. He can play first base. He can play the outfield.
Yeah.
Drury can play
everything
second,
short,
first.
I think short and catcher. You can't do those, but
third. But he can play. He could probably play the outfield. He can also DH. So you sign a couple key players, and then maybe get some an older veteran, maybe Cruz, maybe.
Oh God, 107.
I get it, but he doesn't have to play every day. He could you need pinch hitter. Yeah. He could pinch hit. He could play the outfield. He could DH. He can play first base.
Yeah.
So you get some. It's always good to have some veterans too when you're trying to, even though the Padres aren't a young team, but they're not really. They're probably middle of the pack, but they need
a prime team, because they've had all these big contracts. They have a lot of like prime players,
Yeah, but let's see. Bogaerts is the only one that's won a World Series, right?
No, Soto.
Oh, Soto. I keep forgetting about Soto, and he's young. I don't know why I keep forgetting about Soto, but yeah, Soto, and then Joe Musgrove won one with the Astros.
Yeah, and Musgrove has the tainted 17.
But he doesn't get any crap for it.
No, because I don't think the pitchers did. I think it was the hitters that were using the trash.
But it was it's a pitcher that squealed, right?
Yeah, because he probably didn't. I don't think the pitchers liked it very much.
Yeah. So you got that, but you also need a couple more pitchers.
Yeah.
I think we have enough in the bullpen. Of course, you can never have enough pitching. But we went into the playoffs last year with 3 solid pitchers, and it hurt us against Philadelphia.
It did. But even Philadelphia, they only had like 2 solid pitchers.
But they were hitting the ball better at that time.
That's what I'm saying. It's sometimes it's also just how it stacks up. Like we didn't. Our hitters didn't take advantage of their weak pitching when we should have, and their hitters did. Clevenger, crapped the bed. Manaea crapped the bed, and
there's some people out there. There's some Padre fans that still want to bring Manaea back, and I'm like,
I'll pay him a nickel. He can come back.
He started out so good last season.
He did. I think he just kind of lost it. But anyway. All right, Jack. I think that is a good place to end it for this episode of Padres Talking Padres. I don't even know what to think anymore. It's us and the Yankees with 3 top paid players. It doesn't make sense.
But the difference is the Yankees they haven't added anyone.
That's true. They just brought back.
It's just brought back. We've added.
Yeah.
To the team. Yep. So I'm not saying we're better, but it's better to add players to already a team that was in the NLCS.
And one of those for the Yankees is Giancarlo Stanton, injury history. Another pitcher. Plays a little bit different. But we'll have to see how it plays out. Stay tuned. Hit the subscribe and bell icon. We're covering the Padres as always. And I don't know, maybe Kodai Senga. I mean, there's more moves to be had.
That would be a good move, not only for the team but for merchandise.
Yes,
because now you're getting another country. Because that's what helps with Kim.
Wait, Darvish and Senga.
But
maybe
also,
Ohtani.
Kim is good. Oh, you're an Ohtani guy. But Kim is good because that gets Korea.
Yep.
South Korea.
I think we assume.
I'm sure North Korea doesn't know anything about him, but.
All right. That'll do it. We'll see you all next time. Hasta luego. And goodbye. Have a good day, everybody.